kinda makes it so you can actually see what was done though.
Yeah.
It's not-
Right.
In the spring, it would be harder to.
Again,
get
it's a little
water.
different.
It was a good time to do it, without the water.
There are a lot of other reasons why it was not good, to
Right.
have no rain for however long it was, but,
Right.
yeah.
Construction industries have
Yeah.
said that I've got several projects ongoing in the water and all of them have been a lot smoother because of the drought time.
Katie's not here. Don't let me forget to sign those warrants before we leave, because I haven't had them yet. Okay, I've got 5 o'clock. Call the meeting to order today, Tuesday, September 6th, 2022. Roll call, we have Selectman Howdy Goodwin, Eric Eaton, Mackenzie Jewett, Kevin Buck, myself Jamie Thurlow, Town Manager Jesse Dunbar. Adoption of agenda. Is there anything anyone would like to change? I have an executive session I think that we should add on, if it's all right with everybody, for personnel matters.
Fine by me.
Okay. Do you want a motion on adding that on, Jesse?
Sure.
We'll just add it at the end of, after the executive session, land acquisition, so 11B.
You want a motion for that?
Yeah, motion and that.
I make a motion, we have a second executive session tonight.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we have a second executive session tonight. Let me say titled, what is it? Personnel matters. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Approval of minutes. We have the minutes from August 15th.
Motion to approve the minutes from August 15th.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from August 15th, 2022. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
I'll abstain with him here.
Okay. Next we have warrants. We have one warrant left from FY '22, warrant 139 for the amount of $5,036.36. From FY '23, we have warrant 14 for $201.78, 15 for $6,845.88, 16 $11,144 I'm sorry. 17 $4,650.45, 18 for $13,058.44, 19 for $11,345.13, 20 for $149,301.28, 21 for $67,375, and 22 for $12,108.87, and last warrant 23, $35,937.22.
I make a motion to accept warrants 139 from fiscal year 22 and warrants 14 through 23 on fiscal year 23.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve warrants 139 from fiscal year 22 and warrants 14 through 23 for fiscal year 23. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, next we have committee appointments. We have the broadband committee. We have 5 available seats, and I see we've had 3 applicants.
That's correct. You should have in your packet applications from Siobhan Ryan, Michelle Marks, and Elaine Ruby.
You want separate motions on each one? Okay.
Well, I mean, you can do them. You can do it in one motion if you want.
That's what I was thinking.
They're all the same terms.
Same term.
Yeah. I make a motion to appoint Siobhan Ryan, Michelle Marks, and Elaine Eaton to seats on the Broadband Committee with terms expiring June 30th, 2025.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to appoint Siobhan Ryan, Michelle Marks, and Elaine Eaton to seats on the Broadband Committee with the term expiring June 30th, 2025. Is there any discussion?
I'll abstain because my mother is one of the applicants.
Oh, come on, Eric.
You can vote for it. Go
You
for
could
it.
have gone.
I'm not voting. Sorry.
Yeah. All those in favor? And Eric
Eric.
abstains. All right. Next, we have the 175th Committee, which we have 5 seats available as well, and we only have one applicant for this one.
We have one applicant for the Historical Society seat. I will add that after the packets were done, David Campbell came in and said that he had dropped off an application to be on it as well. The staff hasn't been able to locate it, but they do recall him bringing him in. So if you are inclined to appoint him as well to a resident seat tonight, or if we can have him fill something out for your next meeting.
So he was just a resident seat?
Yeah.
Yep. Just write that as
Nobody from the school or any of the other.
Not yet, we're contacted the school, or emailed them, got gotten back to you.
I know, be nice to.
And Nan Lincoln's the only one from the Historical Society?
Yes, the Historical Society met and
They picked her.
picked her.
She got short straw.
I don't think we need to see Judd's application.
Yeah, I'm good with it. Put him on there.
Yeah, I know. I'd like to make sure that it's, we put a good effort into it too, so. Wanna try to get people to apply, I don't know how to.
Yeah.
Rumor has it somebody else is gonna apply, but I'm waiting
Oh.
for her application.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I'll make a motion to appoint Nan Lincoln to the Historical Society seat on the 175th Committee, expiring June 30th, 2023.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to appoint Nan Lincoln to the Historical Society seat on the 175th Committee, expiring June 30th, 2023. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? You guys wanna do anything for Jed for now, or do you wanna wait until we, let the, enter it into an application like with the rest of them, or there's no hurry, cause there's no, there's not enough people, so it's up to you guys.
I don't see a problem with it. 'Cause it's 5 seats, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
If we can fill 2, that's a good start.
Yep.
I make a motion to appoint Dave Campbell to the resident seat of the Tremont 175th Committee.
Second.
Second that?
Yeah, I'd happy to.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Whatever.
It's been moved and seconded to appoint David Campbell as the resident seat, or as a resident seat on the 175th Committee, expiring June 30th, 2023. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Do you think maybe we could get the school to put, do they still, I'm a little out of the school game, do they still do a newsletter?
Yep,
Yeah.
I can mention it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, can a select board member be on that committee also?
Yep, we can, as
I know there's a lot of obviously the historical society, but there's a lot of history with the town. It'd be nice to have some, you know, I wanna make sure it's, something actually happens with it. It doesn't get kinda like a lot of things, kinda swept under the rug, just, you know, kinda goes on the back burner until the last second and then nothing
Yeah,
really happens.
scrambling.
Yeah, everybody scrambles to get it, so. Yeah, that's a good idea. If you could put it on, have Jandria put it on the memo to go home with everybody, all the kids.
Sure.
Or maybe in the newspaper?
It has been,
You've advertised it in
Oh,
the newspaper,
and they've,
yeah.
they've done blurbs on
Oh, they have, okay, okay.
the side.
All right.
Cool.
Well, now we have regular business. First thing is the Seal Cove Fishway. We have an update. Let's see if you guys are here to, whoever would like to speak first.
I want to just report that, as you saw in the letter that I wrote, that we made great progress over the past 6 weeks on construction at the Fishway. You heard from us back in the spring that we were hoping to work at both sites, at the dam and the former dam, and that is what's happened, and they made incredible progress, and it's gone very well. So we're nearing completion. I mean, the contractors are essentially out of there right now, and we'll be monitoring how it all works, you know, over there.
We issued a certificate of substantial completion last Tuesday, and largely, items on the punch list are associated with grass growth and some other items, but largely it's the construction effort's complete, and, one of the reasons why I think we're hesitating a bit to say it's done is because it's not quite done, right? I mean, I think, you're gonna find right now, when you look at it, it looks very rocky, very gravelly. Not a lot of grass growth has come back, a lot of growth has come back. I think you'll see a real change to the way that those weirs look, just especially up at the dam, with one big spring flush through. You know, we've done, we've backfilled with gravels, very well graded, like a stream type of gravel that will kind of sort itself when it gets that high flow. And so you're gonna notice a change in aesthetic from that, as well as, vegetation creeping back in. Grasses are gonna start growing back out of those weirs. The, you know, alders that are growing along the side of the stream are gonna come back up and grow into that fishway too. That's all good stuff. It's hard to make that happen, you know, like landscaping wise, but I think if you give that 1 year, you're gonna notice a big difference, and you give it 2 or 3 years, and it'll be remarkably different. Some of that rock right now still looks very gray, because it's been recently split even. But if you look downstream, and you see how that other rock has kind of patinaed over time and darkened, and there's growth on it, all that rock is gonna do that as well. And I think you'll see, in the coming years, that really naturalize, and I think in maybe 5 years, which 10 years is gonna go by quick, people are gonna kind of forget that that was brand new and almost not realize how much of a structure it is, frankly. So real excited to see fish next year. And maybe a little bit more water. Right now, it's just kind of a trickle through there. Yeah, very excited. Yeah, completely.
Looks great.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
unbelievable.
what I've seen looks
It's
good.
really good.
I think we ought to work on some kind of a trail paralleling it so you can actually get to enjoy it a little
I
more.
was gonna say that's the other things that are kind of on our radar. So it's that this part is substantially complete of rebuilding the fishways, but I want to start to, now that I have some time, turn my attention to thinking about some interpretive signage. You know, we have a little kiosk there at the dam,
Mhm.
but we've discussed elaborating on that information there, or perhaps locating more information down at Seal Cove at the boat launch in the park down there might be a more appropriate place. One of the things that I think the contractor did a really good job with, in addition to, you know, what we primarily hired them to do, which was the stonework, was just cleaning up along the edges of the road. So at the lower site, you will see that just to get their equipment in there, and it was amazing how, you know, how little vegetation they had to remove in order to get their excavator down and work in the stream. But it did open up that area. It's a little bit more inviting to potentially pull in there. It's a little more, you know, leveled out, and so they put some large stones across the entrance so that we're not we didn't create a new pull-out area that people are gonna, you know, pull in, back out, maybe unsafe. And then they restored the area around the dam as well. That was already, a pull-in area. But they did a really nice job. They were really careful not to mess up the nice new top coat. They weren't happy when they saw how new that was. They had little mats down on the edges, but they really did a remarkable job.
It's only that thick.
Yeah, I know.
I know. But, I think they did a really good job of cleaning everything up so that it will kind of come back to life and look natural as quickly as reasonable, yeah.
And we were talking about earlier, I mean, next year is likely not to be a booming ale front, but I think, that 3-4 year anniversary from the first stocking, you'll see that rebound quite a bit. And other, there's kind of still two lingering fish passage management items going on, and one is the beavers. And that is something that I know people are gonna be keeping their eye on. There's a large beaver dam just upstream of the dam right now, if you see that there. Some attention, maybe next spring to notch that, may be a good idea to get the adults back up and through. Beaver activity and fishways is something that is ongoing everywhere. And so it's not a new issue, it's not unique to here. I may have said this before, but you think of it as kind of like if there was a real healthy fish run and a real healthy beaver population, they kind of coexist. But you have a very healthy beaver population and a fish run on life support. And you need to just kind of help the fish out a little bit for a little while, and I think you'll see that you may not have to more as much in the future. But certainly something to keep your eye on in the next couple of years, and I think there are people doing that.
Yeah, the past few years, IFNW has issued a permit to put a notch in that beaver dam and keep that open, not remove the whole thing, because they'll just rebuild it. It's been most effective to put a little notch over on the east side of it.
Yeah.
And that's what.
I think if you pull that whole beaver dam out, they'd go, well, it's probably easier just to go dam up this little dam down here. Like having a dam up there, just notching that, fixing it up there. Just keep notching that. The other piece too is, we may have talked about this before, but down below the steep part of that stream where it flattens out, when those dams were there, it's kind of the best explanation we can really come up with right now for what's going on down there. But when there were dams there before, they were likely collecting some sediments, and when they were released, there was likely some rock and sediment movement that went downstream. We kind of deposited in that initial flattened reach. And if you walk down through there, particularly right now, you'll notice the channel kind of braids through that sediment. And so instead of being one nice deep channel where the fish would just travel through, it braids out and becomes several shallow channels. And particularly like flows right now, with juveniles leaving, it can strand them or kind of screen them out, if you will. Or act like a sieve almost, strainer. So I think that's also something that Misha's
That's
going to continue
something
to
that the
keep
park
rolling on.
actually has identified. That was one of when Bruce Connery was kind of tinkering, every year with this, he was worried about that spot. It was occasionally a problem, and he was worried it would become an increasing problem under, low water level. So that's entirely within the park's ownership on either side of the stream, where the project that we just completed was in the, primarily the town, but the town and the park's land ownership. So it's something they're going to take, I think, the lead on, looking at potential strategies to improve that channel, but we will continue to kind of push on that. So I don't think it's a major issue, but it could become, it's an issue under certain flow conditions, and could become more of an issue over time if it isn't addressed. So.
But the big issues have not been dealt with, right? So I mean, there's some lingering little things, but really, it's going to be remarkably better.
Good.
Yeah. And the last thing is that I'm very much hoping to continue to be involved with like a community effort to monitor the fish passage. And so, we've done these fish counts every spring with members from the community. Last year we had a little trouble getting enough folks, so maybe I'll come back to you in the lead up to the spring and kind of try to advertise and think about how you guys might be able to help community members that want to get involved with that. There's also the potential, it's kind of expensive, but we can look into the option of some kind of mechanical counter, because obviously the volunteers are only coming down at a certain time, take a little sample, and it might be interesting, and it's possible at this spot where it's basically just like one notch where the fish movement of the pond to actually get a mechanical counter, so I've kind of been looking into options for how that works or where funding could come from. So, to be continued, but major work is done, and so part of me coming back here is to give you that update, but also to make the request for an additional $20,000, which is part of our, larger, almost $320,000 budget to take on this project. So if you have any further questions for me or Joe, have at us.
Thank you very much for all your hard work, and it looks awesome.
Yeah, I'd second that. I think it looks great. I really thank you very much.
Just keep the park on it.
Yeah.
Don't forget, 'cause do you think some of the finer sediment from where we did the upper ways, or what do you, wares is what do you call them?
Weirs, yeah.
Weirs, yeah. So do you think some of that finer sediment might settle in that park area and make it worse?
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't think anything we've done is gonna worsen it per se. I think the, when you ever, this is just kind of general stream geomorphology, is when you have a stream that goes really steep and then flattens out, which is what you have there, there's a lot more energy in the steeper water, and so sediments move rapidly through that steeper stretch. But then as soon as you get that flattened area, it's kind of a natural area of deposition. And it's likely that there was a lot more stone and gravel material through that ledge falls than there is now. I think through the damming and other modifications that have been done there over the years, a lot of that has been released and kind of deposited down below. And it's what we're talking about is sediment that is like softball size, like baseball size. Like it's pretty good sized rock that we're talking about that has moved through. So it's not just the finer pieces, if you will. So the way the solutions there probably is a combination of some kind of channel reshaping as well as some boulder placement to help promote a self-scouring, if you will, so that the actual forces of the water itself continues to keep the channel clean. We've actually been in discussions with the stream geomorphologists about doing a study down there. I think the park is considering it, and that may be what happens moving forward. But for right now, it's generally not an issue in the spring with the adults coming upstream, or even the adults going downstream, as much as it is the juveniles in a really low time, like it is now, and them getting stranded. We have to make sure they get out. But there were no movements today. We were looking specifically for that.
We could see juveniles leaving the pond
Soon, no. Yeah.
over the next month.
Yep. And the hope is that some rain picks up and some flushing, or maybe that beaver dam does get notched, maybe in October, which will trigger a flush, which will trigger movement, and having that additional water will help carry the juveniles through as well. So if there is not a big influx of rain or anything here into the fall, and normally it picks up enough that it's fine, but that's an option as well. But
Good enough.
Yeah, thanks. I make a motion to authorize expending $20,000 from the Seal Cove Fishway Reserve account for improvements to the Seal Cove Fishway.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to authorize expending $20,000 from the Seal Cove Fishway Reserve account for improvements to the Seal Cove Fishway. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, and again, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks good.
Looks
Thanks,
awesome.
guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just would add that in addition to the private donations that help with the budget, these town contributions leverage the $50,000 from U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, as well as $75,000 from the Department of Marine Resources. So those were the two big influxes to the project. And we just found out about the DMR money. I don't know if I told you. On Friday last week they signed it.
Yeah.
So you don't need our money?
No, I was pre-counting that money, and it was feel like it was taking a little long, but
Yeah.
we're good for it.
local contributions really show an interest, especially with federal agencies, and really it helps them justify their own spending.
Sure.
When that local match isn't there, it gets harder. So it's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
really makes a
Yeah,
difference.
and in the case of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, it's a requirement.
Right.
In order to, so anyway, thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, next item on regular business is weatherization rebate program. And Jesse, do you wanna explain that a little bit? Or-
Yep. So at your last meeting, we discussed the option of looking at a rebate type program for assisting residents with weatherization and energy efficiency costs with the use of remaining, or some of the remaining American Rescue Plan funds. This program came from, in your packet, was modeled after the city of Auburn's that you had previously seen, with modifications to fit Tremont. And it was, I sent it over to Naomi and Joanna at Climate to Thrive to get their feedback on it, since they're experts in the field.
Yeah.
And they did suggest some changes which are in this draft. And I have also included in that packet a summary of the American Rescue Plan funds current balance, as well as what you've already somewhat anticipated spending, to show you what could possibly be remaining to go towards this.
No, it looks really good.
What's the expiration date on the ARPA funds?
You have to identify the use by December 31st, 2024, and use it by December 31st, 2026.
So we have 2 years.
I'm assuming this qualifies as identifying the use for whatever funds we put on there in this, until end of 2026 to dole it out.
Yeah.
And
I just wanna be sure we don't, spend, too much of it now and then not have anything later if we need it. That's all.
right,
I like it, looks great.
Right, I don't know
Yeah.
what you were thinking, but I was thinking that, you'd start with some amount and then see how successful the program was, if you wanted to allocate more later, if you had more later.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great idea, a great program, I just
Yeah.
wanna be sure, especially,
Yeah.
2024 gives us a little bit of time to.
Yeah.
What do you guys think if we did a startup?
I was thinking 25 or 30,000, something like that. And, I mean, if nothing else comes up and it's really successful, we could always add to it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of where I was thinking. I mean, at this point, there's no other plans for the rest of that
Yeah.
72,000 and change. So.
yeah, and we don't know, I mean, 20 grand or 25,000, 30 can potentially go fairly quickly, and I think, on the other hand, it may not, because
Yeah.
with this, people might not be as, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I've been involved in one other weatherization program, and you don't typically get a lot of takers.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of hoping the town being involved in it might help.
Yeah.
So that was my thoughts originally.
We kind of structured this, the city of Auburn's requires the residents to have made the purchase and received the rebate, which I got feedback from Climate to Thrive, and I agree could be a barrier for some people
Mhm.
to do the project,
Mm-hmm.
having to pay for it first.
Upfront.
So this is structured that the town of Tremont would pay the contractor directly on their behalf,
Mhm.
so. it wouldn't be
Very good
done
idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Yep.
And
Yeah, I
I
like
thought I
that.
saw something that we had to be provided with the estimate or
Yeah.
whatever, right,
Mhm.
Yep,
prior to the work.
correct.
What if we did like 20,000 for now,
That's what I
That's
said.
and
what I
then,
Start low and then we
yeah,
can
and then
always up
if
it.
we see it going quick, I mean, it's
Yeah.
that easy, isn't it, Jesse? We can just we can add to. If we want.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah.
And then if we don't see anything, add another 10 or 20 or whatever.
I think, a good thing to think about is, the wage adjustment money
Mm-hmm.
and the public works employee.
Mm-hmm.
We should try to keep enough to go through next year with it, if we can.
Mm-hmm.
The additional amount, which is
Mm-hmm.
25, which is a lot, but if we have it in there, we can still
Oh, yeah.
move it around and,
Yep.
or put more into this and whatever,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
I kinda like the idea to make sure that we have that for the next year or
Mhm.
so anyways, so,
No, I think keeping it so it's available, again, it's,
yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
no one's gonna
a meeting
pop up.
vote, we can move it around, so,
Right.
yeah.
And that, you know, the additional employee is kind of a new thing that we had banked on
Mhm.
ARPA money for, so if we can work with that, then
Hasn't
Sounds
been
good to me.
negatively impacted by COVID, I just noticed that. Why is that on everything now, honestly? It's on everything.
Requirement.
Yeah, no, I know, it is.
Has anyone been positively
no, I know.
impacted?
Right, it's not good for anybody.
Everyone has, yeah, negative feedback on that.
what, so what's the timeline on all of this? Is, if we approve the money now, and when can we start, when can people start putting in, as soon as it's approved?
Approved. It's designed to last until the funds are run out,
Yeah. I think
What,
it's great, I think it looks good, I think,
Yeah.
I mean, just my 2 cents, I think it's not far off what Kevin said too, it's just 20,000, start with that, and then if
Yeah.
you know, it leaves us enough room to breathe, and then if we see it going quick, or we like how it's going, then
isn't
just
this
put more in.
getting, Kevin, you might know, Climate Thrive, they have some programs that
Yeah,
can
that,
go with this?
well,
with
that's,
money?
Naomi's working on a program now, a building efficiency program, which is ties in with, so there's gonna be some of that, I think there's gonna be a lot of help funding approved contractors
Yeah.
and a lot of this, so I mean, it all, it's all pretty good timing, it's all kind of coming up, and we start putting with the efficiency main money, and I think there's gonna be some other incentives in there that haven't quite been identified yet.
Yeah, they
So, I
can
mean-
piggyback off each other, though,
Yeah.
that's gonna make a big
Yeah.
difference on the.
So I think a lot of these improvements, people are gonna be able to do at almost no cost, you know, depending on situation and a lot of factors and what they're doing.
so.
But there's a chance for people to make some real improvements in their living situation without bankrupting them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, sounds good.
I like it.
I'll make a motion to approve and adopt the guidelines and application for the town of Tremont rebate program as presented, and to authorize the use of America Rescue Plan funds in the amount of 20,000 to start to fund the rebate program.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to approve and adopt the guidelines and application for the town of Tremont's rebate program as presented, and to authorize the use of American Rescue Plan funds in the amount of $20,000 to start the fund, for the rebate program. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Next, we have, drainage ditch easement. That's the one by McCackrons that we've been trying to get cleaned up forever.
Yes,
Um,
so.
It's
yes.
everything you wanted.
Everybody's happy?
Yes, so as soon as you accept and it gets filed, then the town attorney's gonna do cartwheels around the place.
yeah, I know.
I wanna see that.
That might be worth
I'll-
pulling up a chair.
I'll set aside some time to watch
Yeah,
that show.
same.
It is a short rainy though.
I just wanna be sure while we're on the topic, I know we've talked about this, but it's been a while, but, we'll hire whatever we have to, like if we talked about the town crew doing a little bit, I mean, if we need to have an excavator come in, cause that's all, I would think it'd be good for them too, cause it's all marshy in between. If we just channeled that into a nice drainage ditch,
Yeah,
it's
that's.
gonna make everything dry, it's gonna probably be a lot nicer for them and the neighboring house on the other side, and
Yep.
hopefully
Yeah.
drain
Yeah.
that way, not this way.
Yeah.
And what's the width of it? Is it?
It is
We had it drawn out at one point, Eric, but
Yeah.
16.5.
16 and a half, yeah.
Yep.
that's funny, if we can just get like a 8-foot ditch in there, wide, then that's, I mean, just to get it going, wouldn't that be plenty, Howdy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just rip wrap the sides of it and get it headed in the other direction.
Yeah.
Right now, they do a beautiful job on those ditches out there, but they hold water, so it doesn't, more like a pond than a ditch.
That's where the ducks are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept the easement deed between Heather and Troy Lewis and the inhabitants of the town of Tremont for the drainage easement at 90 Tremont Road.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept the easement deed between Heather and Troy Lewis and the inhabitants of the town of Tremont for the drainage easement at 90 Tremont Road. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Perfect. Wonder if they'll get it done before winter.
The plan is to do it in early October.
Okay, good. I'm just thinking of,
Yep.
because last year ice and everything else backed up from that.
Yep.
All right, next we have heat pump bid results. And we have two,
Yep, so we have received 2 bid results. One from Valley Satellite and one from Steve Stanley Electrical.
I just wanna be sure there's no, something that I'm not seeing, excuse me, you know, the price difference being so huge.
That's what I was
Like,
thinking.
I
This is
love
like
it, but I'm
apples and
like,
apples.
I can't
This is the
see
same.
any,
Well, I saw 3 units with
but it was,
Valley Home.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what he has too.
Well, Steve has 2, right?
3 indoor.
Oh, is it 3?
3 indoor, 2 outdoor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I was looking at the 2.
Yep.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, am I missing something here? 'Cause
I know.
it's a lot different.
And
I
then,
had Valley Home Service do mine, and I was totally satisfied with it.
Yeah.
I've heard
Yeah.
great reviews from
Deal.
them and their service.
Yep.
And they'll come service them if something goes.
Yes, I've been
Yes.
told, one of the hard things with heat pumps is a lot of people that sell them don't service them.
Mhm.
I think Steve Stanley is one of those contractors that does not. Valley Satellite, one of our employees has a $200 a year plan, and he had an issue with this spring, and they came out the next day and put in a whole new one at no cost.
Oh, nice.
This is the plan. We did, the state did release its grant information for small municipalities last week, regarding energy efficiency, lighting and heat pumps. It looks as if, at the outset, that we potentially would be eligible for $8,400 in grants.
Wow.
$2,800 per unit.
Hmm.
So there's 3 units.
Nice.
Really?
So we are on the eligible municipality list with them, so.
that would be about 2,500 for our contribution, a little bit more.
A little bit more, we, the 11.3 includes an efficiency main standard rebate, which I assume we'd have to put back, because the states are through efficiency main, so I assume
And
we'll
that was
add
around,
15 to the 11.3
yeah.
and then take $8,400 off. But I haven't confirmed.
Let's get doing it, because $2,500, if we can do it for that, that's, that, you know, a couple of those in-window ones that you have upstairs will cost that.
And use that much more electricity.
Yeah, no, I know, exactly.
Shame they weren't a little bit closer.
So,
Be nice to,
yeah, I hate to,
yeah.
whatever, it's local business, but, I mean,
It's a huge difference.
it's
It's-
over double,
it's-
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
so.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I hate to not use a local business. I always try, you know, any way that we can, but it's, I mean, yeah, it's hard to justify when it's over double.
You didn't see anything that we're missing out of there? I mean,
No.
there's slight differences in the warranty and this and that, but
I think there's one outdoor unit as opposed to 2, but it doesn't matter. I've got heat pumps, I got 3 remotes running off one, it works
Off
fine,
one,
yeah.
I know, and it says on the Valley one says 12-year warranty on
Yeah.
parts. It
On
says
parts,
parts only, but I
right,
mean, that's,
taillight on the rest of it.
yeah, no, well, yeah. No, it's a 1-year, full peace of mind one. That means if you're happy, you're satisfied with it, right?
If it doesn't completely fail in a year, which if it's junk, then it
Yeah.
will, you
Yeah.
know, so.
No, I say, go for it quick. Sounds too good to be true. So.
And the start date's the same, pretty much, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they were all, yeah.
I make a motion to award the heat pump bid to Valley Home Services for the amount of $11,300.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to award the heat pump bid to Valley Home Services, in the amount of $11,300. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Good job, Jesse, finding all the,
Yeah.
everything that we can to reduce the cost of that. Awesome.
And that means if things are all mucked up in the radiant down here, you can hit the remote and
Yeah,
still
no,
be able
if
to use the
there's an
room.
issue like we had last one, you can use it if you, or if you just wanna warm it up quick, you know,
Yeah,
for,
quick, like,
I don't know how they, I don't have one, but you can use them for heat and it's
Oh, yeah,
pretty
yeah,
quick
they're
heat,
quick.
isn't it? Yep.
Yeah.
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 All right, next we have, spending more money, flooring replacement bids for the, for upstairs, the town office. You only received one bid back.
We only received one bid back.
Does anyone think that's kind of like insanely high?
It looks way high to me for
Yeah.
one floor.
I thought so too.
Yeah, it
I
looks
mean, I've put
twice,
up
yeah.
buildings for less than that.
Yeah, it looks twice as much as what I would think that it would be.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We
I
only
would
got
wait.
that one bid, the other
Yeah.
guys didn't.
Correct.
Riggs
What,
Rugs is out of business now?
Yes.
Okay, cause Riggs always, did they do our stuff before? They've done stuff for me, but they did an awesome
No,
job.
they didn't, yeah, but,
No.
yeah, no, that's right.
Yeah,
And that
Too
price
bad.
was just laying over the other one too.
Yes.
Really? Yeah. And that's the whole upstairs, the offices and everything.
That's not
It's
that
not
Not even the
big though.
closets
It
in the
excludes
bathrooms
the bath.
though, right?
Five
Yeah.
bathrooms involved.
And it's a layover. Wow.
Yep.
Eric, we're in the wrong business.
I was
bud.
just gonna say that. We got some glue.
Yep.
That kind of rig could bring me out of retirement.
No, I did, that's what we said about that, and also our, lean-to building out here, same
Yeah.
thing, when I
Yeah.
saw this, that was another one where I'm just
Well,
speechless.
yeah.
I don't know what to say about the price.
Sometimes people just don't wanna do the job, so
Yeah.
here's your number.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's what we got.
Where else could we reach out to? I'm trying to think of someone more local, what about, like Trenton Flooring, do they do commercial? Because I know I've used them before and they do a very good job for carpets and,
Yeah.
stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I just don't know.
Yeah, we posted it on the, Maine Municipal's bids.
Mm. I think we might have to call, everybody's so
Yeah.
busy, maybe go, if anybody
And
else has
a
any
DNS
ideas.
Builders was just too busy, that's why he didn't.
Yeah, no, that's what everybody is, too busy.
Yep. But,
Yeah, I wouldn't mind sitting on that one. I mean, it's not like
Yeah.
the floor is not walkable, so.
no, I.
Keith,
prefer
do you
to
have any
keep it.
ideas of people you could contact for flooring and stuff? I know you've done contracting, your brother. Yeah.
Yeah, I would think December or
Yeah.
January would be a good chance to sneak right in here. I'll come work for you then too.
I'm finding the same thing where I work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just throwing numbers out there.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, luckily if you get them, and if not, you don't care. So.
Yeah.
You think that you saw the number?
It'll come around,
Yeah.
yeah.
This can't last forever. We keep saying that, but but I've got to say everything that I've purchased in the last week, metal wise and stuff too, has just keeps going. I mean, a year ago I was saying it doubled. Well, now it's doubling again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, say we sit on that
Yeah,
one.
we
Yeah.
keep
I would
trying.
hold off and
Yep. That was the big names.
no action on that one, I guess, for right now.
Yep.
I'm okay with that.
All right, next we have Pacific Hall, and Carrie is here, and she would like to use, or continue to use the Pacific Hall on behalf of the library.
Yes, I really appreciated having that space to be able to sort of organize and talk to books. And the library isn't just August, I mean, we've already gotten donations for next year's sale. So if I'm allowed to continue to use Pacific Hall, I'll be over there, working with the books as they come in. You never know,
Yeah.
someday you may get a pile, or it may be a month, but They do come in over the course of the year. And I realize that the building is not heated and all that, so I'll figure out what to do about winter. It may just be a matter of depositing stuff there and then waiting until spring to do anything with it. But having that space is very useful if you're willing to let me use it.
Someone might as well use it.
Yeah, I'm glad
Yeah.
somebody's using
Yeah, I
it.
know.
Yeah.
The only concern I've got is if someone does wanna use it, your stuff's not gonna be spread all over, you're gonna have it sitting inside or whatever most of the time, right?
I mean, it's inside the building.
Yeah, no, but I mean, you're not gonna have tables spread out with books all over them all the time. It's gonna be
Like if somebody
sitting.
wanted to have a party or
Yeah, I
something,
mean, if they did come to use for it.
In the, vestry area, there are tables around that room
Yeah.
with books on them.
Yeah.
In the big room, there's one table that's got some
Yeah.
books on it.
So if someone wanted to go in, there wouldn't be much to get it set up to use it. That's all I'm thinking.
So I'd say the
Yeah.
big room could
Yeah.
be somewhat accessible. It also has a, fair amount of some just kind of random stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
So it's not
But-
like super attractive.
Yeah.
But the smaller
No
one,
argument.
it really
Yeah.
does have tables
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
books
Yeah.
kind of spread
Yeah.
around the room.
What you're saying is we might wanna clean it up before we let someone use it anyway.
Yeah,
Well, no, it's fine, it
Yeah.
doesn't bother me, it's just that somebody wanted to
Yeah.
have a
Well-
party there.
Yeah, you're gonna have to judge it up if
Yeah.
you wanna have a
Yeah.
party.
But, since,
Keith, do you have something?
I just had to clarify that nobody can use that building for a party or event or function,
Okay,
so.
just for the,
Still, the town has never obtained any occupancy permits
Okay,
or
yep.
permits, so, until they decide what's gonna be done.
Yep.
It'd be kind of useless to install systems and a permit until we determine what the building.
oh yeah, no, I agree. Yep.
You'd just be wasting money, but storage and that sort of thing's acceptable, but just that, so,
Mhm.
I don't know, I guess you have to decide what you wanna do before you any idea of parties, weddings, events, because it's not
Yep.
permitted for that yet.
And I wonder, just to get used to it, I mean, it's great to see that being used like that. I wonder if the school or, could use a spot to put some stuff for the winter until
Mhm.
spring. Just
Yeah, I think we
just
talked,
to use it for
Just
if we can
storage,
use
yeah.
it for something.
Yeah.
I think we
I think
did
we-
ask Jandy that, and she said it's just so far away that
Oh,
things
yeah.
go there to die if they
Yeah.
go there.
Yeah, yeah.
Get seen again,
Yeah.
so, I don't know, I think
Yep.
minimal use until it's,
Figure out what to do with it.
right, it would need a bigger parking lot, then you can do all kinds of stuff with it, right?
Yeah. Okay,
I'll make a motion to continue allowing the library to use Pacific Hall to sort and store books for its annual book sale.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded to continue allowing the library to use the Pacific Hall to sort and store books for its annual book sale. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, next we have surplus sale. We have truck 7, F-350. Second item is a commercial floor buffer. That's it?
That's
Just
it.
those two things, yep.
I make a motion to approve the sale of surplus property as proposed.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the sale of surplus property as proposed. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Should we put a minimum bid on that truck, or should we just let it go? Is that bad?
Just let it go.
I haven't even looked at it, I was
Yeah,
gonna
I
go out
haven't
and look at it after this, but I don't know, I mean,
There's a lot
minimum
of
bid
people
is,
that wanna bid on it, so.
Oh,
a minimum
Yeah.
bid's not a bad idea, but I don't know what kind of condition it's in.
we don't have to accept the bids if we don't want to, correct?
Correct.
We could
Yeah,
always
It's
call
not gonna,
it back.
it's not gonna take
Yeah.
another inspection sticker from what I hear.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a
Right,
project,
we don't have to accept
Yeah.
any of it.
Yeah.
it's $1,000.
Yeah. Don't tell Kevin that, he's selling a plow truck right now.
No kidding. Trying.
Yeah. All right, next we have the town manager's report.
Alright. Major emphasis in the last 2 weeks has been reviewing draft chapters of the comp plan, as well as attending weekly, construction meetings at the Sealcoat Fishwick project. I have been working on the broadband committee, follow-up with applicants, the heat pump bid opening, prep for and conducting the, quarterly safety committee meeting, set up for the comp plan meeting. I had a Zoom meeting about mapping feature for the website. I prepared the Harbor Committee financial report, opened the flooring bid, worked on the weatherization program, attended the Boston Post-Cane presentation with Kevin, participated in a solar array radio interview with NPR that was hosted by Climate Thrive, and Kevin attended as well here at the town office, and the solar array. Worked on meeting prep, had 2 of the oldest computers replaced so they'll be compatible with upcoming Microsoft upgrades, and had a meeting with some residents at Hillrest Cemetery. The office staff was busy processing tax payments, BMV reporting, lien discharges, installing Trio updates, and assisted with the Boston post-cane preparations. Public Works removed garbage at Back Beach and Hillrest, finished the Cape Road repair, cut pavement on Cape Road, removed garbage at the town dock, excess garbage, took truck 9 to the garage for repairs, changed the battery in the radar sign, continued sanding on the truck 2 body, moved TV at the town office, and then installed a new TV at the town office, paving the cross pipe on the Cape Road and Clark Point Road, trimmed the edges of the road on Leffingwell, repaired washouts on Cape and Carter, removed a downed pine branch on the Kelly Cemetery out on Silk Cove Road, came in for a downed tree on Clark Point Road, removed trees, saplings on the corner out here from the town office on behalf of DOT since they were not available. They're going to be doing the trees at the corner of Shore Road as well since DOT can't take care of it. They trimmed and mowed town office and trail and cemeteries, town dock, Silver picnic area. Painted the body on truck 2 and started painting the rims on truck 2. Harbor Master received payment, final payment from a resident for damage that was done at the wharf. Tied up a large pleasure yacht for transient rental. Printed off wharf use permits. Helped Public Works with measuring the center line on Rummel Road. Assisted a 40-foot sailboat that was grounded in the harbor. Daily dock cleanup and taking garbage to the dump. Repaired broken float from lobster boat damage, transient float work, Harbor Committee packet prep, helped with the paving project at the end of Cape Road, cleaned a truckload up from the Seal Cove boat ramp and took it to the dump. Had a meeting with Acadian Sea Plants regarding loading seaweed at the town dock. Conducted safety inspections and attended the safety meeting. Assisted with a broken down lobster boat. Moved tables from the library back to the firehouse from the book sale. Assisted with installing the TV in the meeting room. I replaced a hook line on hoist 1. And over the next few weeks, I have a meeting with the chamber and the sheriff's office regarding the upcoming Oktoberfest. Attending a Zoom meeting with the attorney regarding the pending court cases, and attending a meeting with the auditor next Monday.
Okay, thank you, Jesse.
The DOT work, are they reimbursing the town on that?
Yes.
That's been working pretty well since we started that, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting going forward. They're getting more people and the state's not licensing right now, so.
Maybe good.
hoping our requests don't increase. But yes, indeed.
I also wanted to mention to Carrie, when I was off topic a little bit, but I was over to EMR earlier today, dropped off some stuff, got talking to Ross, I went to school with him, and said that everything's working really smoothly with those bins over there. Said as smooth as it can. He said Park had just shut them off and they were going to Orono, I believe now. So it changed, or, Old Town. And so it changes a little bit, but, he said it seems to be working as good as it possibly can with stuff kinda all shuffled around as it is, so.
Yeah, no, it works pretty well.
Yeah.
The only problem I have is, I think Tremont must be doing a great job of recycling, because sometimes when I go, the bin's so full
Yeah.
that I don't put my stuff in, I just wait until the next time. But, yeah, the stuff is definitely
Yeah.
getting handled and recycled, and that's great.
Yep, and he said that when he dropped off the last load, that the guy said the loads before had been some of the cleanest that he's ever seen. Like, yeah, the Tremont stuff had been very, very clean,
Great.
exactly what he wanted to see, so that's good to know, yeah.
Great.
All right, yeah, suggestions for next meeting, date of the next meeting?
I'll make a motion to confirm the date of the next meeting for Monday, September 19th, 2022 at 5 at the town office.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to confirm the date of the next meeting for Monday, September 19th, 2022, 5 p.m. at the town office. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Now we have an executive session. The first one is titled Land Acquisition.
I make,
Go ahead.
Is it? Yeah.
you can do the next one.
No,
That's a rock, paper, scissors, you two.
this one's better than the next one.
Good night.
I make a motion to go into executive session as permitted by 1 MRSA 405.6.c for consideration of the acquisition or disposal of real property or rights therein, since premature disclosure of this information would prejudice the competitive or bargaining position of the town.
Been moved and seconded to go into executive session, titled Land Acquisition, as read by Kevin. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, we are out of executive session at 6:18. Now we have an executive session titled Personnel Matters.
I'll make a motion to find that the public discussion of these personnel matters could be reasonably expected to cause damage to the employee's reputation and or to violate the employee's privacy rights, and therefore to go into executive session to discuss the employment, appointment, assignment, duties, promotion, demotion, compensation, evaluation, disciplining, resignation, and or dismissal of an individual or group of public officials, appointees, or employees as permitted by 1 MRSA 405.6.a.
Good job. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to go into executive session titled Personnel Matters as read by Mackenzie. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, executives. All right, we are coming out of executive session at 6:45. I guess we just have motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?